Twinkle, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Before it goes boom, blow, how you like America now? Babylon the Great, so foul. Terror, full-blown terror, spreading like gossip on Gerardo Rivera. Terror, devil to step to the Israelite zone, but they all get enslaved with the scriptures, baby, it's on. We too strong to have a march like a poo, but I'd rather feel my sword to your guts. I'm nuts for the truth and the knowledge of the Bible, and fucking red devils for survival with your heart shine. Oh, you forgot about Christ, you crooks. Enslaved his holy people with a good book you took. Mercy, mercy, you was bloodthirsty. Now you wanna go to heaven first, see, but pardon me. While the angels and you call UFOs are beaming us up, you gon' get struck with the bomb.
Right to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got.
And so as we say goodbye to our dark friends and neighbors,
America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got to invade with the streets. America get ready to be bombed with the fire and it's got fire and it's got.
Shalom, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another exciting edition of The Hidden Truth. I'm your host, Priest Ahawam Mayam. With me today is Priest Kazakia.
Shalom, Israel.
And joining us as a reader is Priest Ahab.
Shalom, Israel.
All right, you can catch our shows every Saturday from 8 to 9 p.m. on Houston Media Source, as you see here on the sign popping up. We have our classes Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m., Friday from 9 to 12 p.m., and then Saturday morning classes 8 to 11 a.m. If you need to text us or call during the show, you can call the live number that's going to pop up on the screen here. That way you can have any of your questions or comments addressed directly right here on the air. This is a live show, so please keep your language clean. We are teaching the scriptures. Try to remember that. We welcome any donations that will help in furthering the work. If you want to get us any donations of books, yourselves, cars, money, clothes, whatever, that'll help educate and teach our people, you can hit us up on the web, on email, hiddentruth12@gmail.com. We rebroadcast the show on YouTube. That's under ISBHPK, and you can catch our classes that we stream live on Ustream under ISBHPK. All right, so the topic of tonight's show that we're going to be going over is the Chariots of the Most High. What the so-called, what you know as UFOs. Are these the Chariots of the Most High? Are these alien beings from another planet that helped the Mexicans make the pyramids and gave us the number 0 and every other great achievement? Are they little green-eyed monsters coming out of these UFOs, these flying saucers? Or is everything you've been fed in the movies just exactly that, science fiction? All right, so we're going to go through the scriptures, right?
Right, because that's right on point, because we've always seen the perspective of these so-called historians,
right,
or TV, but we never see anybody go through the Bible and look and see where these, the true artifacts in history supposed to come from.
Right. Okay.
As opposed to all these other things going on. Let's go back to the source and see what it says about this Chariots of the Most High, or so-called UFOs. We don't call them UFOs because we call them the Chariots of the Most High because that's what they are.
Right.
And we're going to go directly into it. We're going to go into 1 Kings. And what chapter and what verse here?
2 Kings.
Oh, 2 Kings. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9.
Right.
And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee.
Right. And this is, we're going here and starting out from the beginning. The first account of when the Chariots of the Most High, it was accounted in the scriptures. Now, there's other secrets also when you go further back.
Right.
But, we're going through the obvious. And these scriptures are going to make that account of what these people call UFOs. But we're going to find out that they're not, like you said, little green people, that these are actually the vehicles of the Most High. You know, so the ancient aliens or they're, you know, they have some madness out now that they're demons.
Right.
You know, they're demons coming down and torturing people, or you know, it's all kind of stuff on YouTube, right?
Right.
Let's go to the source and see what these vehicles are. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee.
Right. Now, this famous story is, we know we're talking about Elisha and Elijah. Elisha being the understudy of Elijah.
Right.
Elijah being the prophet. Right. And it was known through the prophets that Elijah would be taken. You know, and nobody understood what that meant until it happened. Right. And until the account of this happened in the Bible. And the Most High gives us the specifics of what's going on. Go ahead.
And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
Right. So, you know, this is a good point to bring out here. Elisha was the understudy. Like you got Paul, Peter, John, you know, all the 12 apostles that were understudies to Christ. Elisha was the understudy to Elijah.
Right.
And he wanted a double portion of his spirit. And as you know, as you go through that story, you found out that Elisha got that double portion by following, by being humble, right, and following the example of Elijah.
Right. Okay.
Right. So you know, and that's another class. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me, when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee.
Right. So you're going to get this double portion of my spirit if you see me leaving.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
But if not, it shall not be so.
Right. So he kind of left it in the hands of the Most High. If that's what the Most High wanted, then Elisha would see him leave.
Right.
You know, because this was a great thing. He wasn't just going to go, bury himself. He wasn't going to go hide behind a curtain. He wasn't going to say that, some false rumor. He was going to be lifted up in this chariot of the Most High. Today, you know them as UFOs.
Right.
So this was really something that for a man to see during this time, as you see all the ancient writings and history and artifacts and evidence, this was going to be a real big account that was going to happen.
Right. So just like now, the UFOs weren't shown to everybody.
Right. Exactly.
You had to have that gift, or you had to catch them at that time.
Right. Or as we're seeing, you have to be tortured by them, like the so-called white man.
Right.
Because the funny thing is that a lot of white people that come encounter with the chariots of the Most High or with these angels is that they get tortured by them.
Right.
So you got to ask yourself, what are you doing?
Right.
Because
that kind of discounts the alien being theory, because I always thought, why would an alien being come from some other galaxy far, far away and come to anally probe this weird hick farmer? You know what I mean? Because they haven't discovered that part of the universe yet. They haven't discovered the fecal cavity yet.
Well, it ain't to discover anything.
Right.
And we're going to go through those scriptures. We got so much to go through.
Right.
So we're going to go through these scriptures. Go ahead.
2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
Right. Now, this is one example of what a man from the ancient times described what he's seen. And that's what we're going to go through. We're going to go through the Bible and find these different accounts, but according to what they knew back then.
Right.
He knew transportation back then was an actual horse and chariot.
Right.
But this chariot was a chariot of fire. This vehicle, go ahead.
And horses of fire, and parted them both asunder.
Right. So what was the parting of asunder? And this is where you get the movie account. And now when that beam hits them,
right,
the beam parts them asunder.
Right.
And this is not the only account. So, once again, what we're finding out here and going over this topic is, like you said, they're not green people. They're not little Martians.
Right.
These are angelic beings. And as you see, and we go through the Bible, this is why they can't be shot down. They can't be touched. They defy all the rules of gravity.
Right.
Because,
physics.
huh?
And physics.
And physics.
Right,
There
right.
you go.
Okay.
So go ahead.
And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Right, now, if they play that clip one more time, we went and we deciphered through the images that were more quality. Now, if you can rewind that and press pause, this right here is a picture. Now, this picture, he turns it from black to white, from from dark to light, for you to see the image in the picture.
Wow.
And when if they can show it again, and as you see, this is what you call, what the world calls a UFO.
Right, or a flying saucer.
A flying saucer.
Right.
But when Elisha seen it, right, he described it as a chariot of fire.
Right.
Now, we're going to go through the other scriptures and the other images, but I want you to focus on something here. He said that this was a whirlwind. He said it was two descriptions.
Right.
A chariot of fire and a whirlwind. And as you look at it, you see it looks like it's on fire, but also it looks like it could be a whirlwind.
Right. And we got to think logically. The horses, for one, if it was actual horses catching on fire, they would
Right.
be dead.
Right.
And then running around in a circle is not going to levitate anybody off the ground.
Right.
They're just going to be horses running around in a circle.
Right.
So we gotta think into terms of what we know.
Right.
Or what we've been exposed to now.
Right.
Which would be this
Right.
image.
Right. And the evidence and the facts. And this is how we know. Go ahead and finish playing that. This is how we know that they didn't crash in Roswell and they're not being examined by the men in black and chopped up. Right. Because you can, if you cannot touch these angelic beings, and pause it right here. Pause it right there. Now, what he did is he darkened the picture more. Now, what does that look like? A tornado. Wow. So when these UFOs spin, read that part again, why she has this up here.
Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Right. Now, this is a rare image of one.
Right.
When I found this, I was like, wow, this is, but what he did was darken the image for you to see the whirlwind-like effect that's coming from it, as you see from the first image to this image.
Right. It's interesting to see that it kind of looks like a cloud.
Right.
But, it looks like a cloud, but it has an unusual formation of like a tornado also.
There you go. There you go. And as we go through the Bible, we're going to see why the different prophets said and gave them these different names.
Right.
Because they described it from what they know. Right? So go ahead and finish playing that image for us. Now, as you got the tornado, and if you look at the chariot, you can see they're similar. So when he's seen the tornadoes and he's seen how it was moving, he called it a whirlwind.
Right.
But it was a chariot of fire, right?
Right. So even Esau, even though
Pause it there.
This world now they call them a UFO, which are unidentified flying objects.
Right.
But the scriptures have identified them.
The scriptures have identified
to the
them.
Most High.
Right. The scriptures already spoke about them before the white man came about, and that's what we're realizing.
Right.
That all these evidences, once again, these are not green people. Once again, they're not demons. These are angelic beings sent to the earth, and they're going to be sent here for a purpose. Okay? And brothers and sisters, what you're witnessing and what we're going to find out, that these vehicles is your salvation. And that's how we're going to get out of America when that thermonuclear destruction hits this place.
Right.
It's not going to be us getting on a boat and going back to Israel and we getting together.
Right.
We don't have to pack bags now because the salvation is going to come through Christ. Read that one more time and then let's move on because we do have a lot. Go ahead.
Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Right. Now, once again, as we read the Bible, we're finding out that the prophets described them from what they knew. A chariot of fire because it was a vehicle. But then he also said a whirlwind, right? He went up into a whirlwind, right? Now let's go. Let's move on. Let's go through some other points. Go to Exodus 13, verse 21.
Right, and that's why I thought it was interesting. Because I'm remembering this. I'm remembering it looked like a pillar of fire. It looked like a cloud. You
go.
So go ahead.
There you go. All these descriptions, the Most High is is, you know, the Most High revealed what they are.
Right.
You know, and he's showing us. And as we go through deeper into the scriptures, we find out these ain't vehicles of aliens. These are vehicles of the angels.
Right.
Right? So read that.
Exodus chapter 13, verse 21.
Right.
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
Right. And this is, once again, the description. Now it's a pillar of a cloud. Right? So it goes on, though. Go ahead.
To lead them the way.
Right.
And by night in a pillar of fire.
Right. So a pillar of fire. And why does it say pillar? Because how these things spin.
Right.
Right? Every time you see a so-called UFO, Ezekiel, and we're going to go there, describes it. It looks like a wheel inside of a wheel. Well, when it spins, it's somewhat like a tornado.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
It's somewhat like a tornado, but check this out. Read.
To give them light to go by day and night.
Right. So it says a pillar of a cloud to lead them by the way. At night, a pillar of fire. So as we go through these other images, we find out that, once again, when you see these UFOs, when you see these vehicles that the Most High has given the angels, right? When you see these vehicles that the Most High is going to deliver us children of Israel with, you find out that these vehicles look different ways. Right there, the first image was it looked like a tornado, but it looked like a cloud.
Right. A pillar.
Right. It looked like a pillar, but it looked like a cloud.
Right.
Also, right? So read that one more time while she's getting those images for us.
Exodus chapter 13, verse 21.
Right.
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
Right.
To lead them the way.
Right.
And by night in a pillar of fire.
Right. So as we're going to see, as we see these UFOs, these chariots, they look like clouds or they look like a ball of fire. Right. And that's where when you have right here, you think you're looking at a cloud, but you have what the so-called white man is trying to achieve, invisibility. Or what's the other one?
Stealth.
There you go, stealth mode. And this is where they're getting all this from. They're trying to copy. They're trying to copy the power of the Creator. Right. And this is you know the little image of the Israelites with the pillar of fire. Right. But it looks like a what?
Cloud.
It looks like a cloud. Right. So once again, the Bible is giving us descriptions of what you have accounted and what you have seen and what has been documented. Let's get the facts right. This has been documented, right? But we got to warn the people. No, they did not catch any angels, and no, they're not dissecting them.
Right.
If you cannot shoot down, okay, a UFO, and we got some images on that too. Right. If you cannot shoot down a UFO, how is it that it crashed? If these chariots move, there's one account of 17,000 miles per hour. Now that's just him probably playing with them. Right. 17,000 miles per hour they move, but you're gonna crash.
Right. Or they run out of gas.
Or they run out of gas. Right. So the technology is that much advanced.
Right.
And once again, I'm using the word technology loosely because it's not controlled by what we think. Like Will Smith, he got in a cockpit and drove around and learned how to steer. That's not how these things move. Right. And we're going to go on and move on and go to the scriptures and prove that according to the Bible. See, but why do they come up with these things? Why do they come up with their green people? Right. Why do they come up with their aliens and fear them and get your shotgun, Bob, if you see them? Why? Because they know these are the things that are going to be coming back to destroy this country.
Yeah. It gives them hope, too. Makes them feel like,
right.
These guys are tiny little green men. I can just pop their heads open.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Put them on a dissection table. I can touch them. I can hurt them. It gives them a little bit of hope, right?
Let's see what Zechariah said.
Right.
Read Zechariah 5 verse 3. And this is why they come up with these movies. Oh, guess what? If you're going to join with us, we got to join together against the aliens. You know what I mean? Will Smith can do it, you can do it, right?
Right.
That's a lie. You're not going to be able to touch them. You're not going to be able to put your hand on them, your guns, your weapons, your lasers, your bombs, and they know this.
Right.
So if you look at YouTube, YouTube is a lot of disinformation. They throw a little, how else could it be real if you don't mix a little truth in there, right? And that's why they come out with a lot more documentaries. You know what I mean? That they caught the aliens and the men in black, but then you got some videos that show you the truth that you know, that it is evidence that they have shown themselves. Right? But why are they doing this? Read this.
Zechariah chapter 5 verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
Right. This is the curse. This is what is going to happen to this country. They're going to be invaded. And we don't have time to go over the whole chapter, but they're going to be invaded by the armies of heaven. And this is what they fear.
Right.
They fear this, man. That's why when they put out this movie, we were cheering for it.
Right.
But they fear this. Leave that up there. Read.
For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off.
This is not talking about someone that stole a loaf of bread.
Right.
This is talking about a man in a kingdom. A kingdom that was built off of rape, robbery, murder, bloodshed, and destruction. And that perpetuates lies continually for money and oil. And they're not coming back for the average, I stole a loaf of bread.
Right.
He's coming back for the man that steals nations.
And they know it's them. That's why they try to show us joining with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? To fight against the aliens. You know what I mean? Because they want us to get in this mindset of, oh, we're going to fight against, we're going to accidentally fight against Christ.
Right.
You know what I mean? But because they know the destruction's coming for them.
Right.
And misery loves company.
Right. Exactly. And that's why they're the misinformation.
Right.
You know, as you know, we're going to use some images from certain movies because they know what's coming to them. Look, they see it. They put it all in their movies.
Yeah.
What's coming? The aliens is coming back to get us. Why?
Right.
Why do they tell you aliens, brothers and sisters, so you can go ahead and join their military and receive the mark of the beast in your hand and do the works of the beast, which is fight against God, his son, and the angels. But guess what, brothers and sisters? If you're joined with them, you're going to die with them. You understand? These angels are going to destroy you. Read on. Let's read on, and then we're going to jump to verse 1. Go ahead.
As on this side.
Right.
According to it.
Right. It said everyone will be cut off. Read.
As on this side. According to it.
Right. Now jump to verse 1. Let's see what it's talking about. Read.
Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll.
A what?
A flying roll.
So you have in Elijah, right, in Kings, describing it as a whirlwind. You go to Exodus, Moses described it as a pillar of fire, a cloud by day, right, a pillar of fire by night.
God.
Now, Zechariah comes back and said it was a what? It was a roll. Why? Because when these vehicles move, when they turn, they look like they're rolling. But you're looking from the bottom up.
Right. Right.
If you look from the bottom up and you're looking at a scroll or a roll, you see it spinning. And this is what's going on here. And these are the accounts of the prophets telling you what these chariots are. They don't got nothing to do with green people, brothers and sisters. These are our brothers preparing to come back and deliver us from this wicked kingdom.
Beautiful.
Right?
Right. And before anybody tries to denounce it as a cult-like thing or whatever, that's what they're feeding you in movies also.
Right.
Is these guys jumping on a damn rooftop butt naked with a bunch of Kool-Aid talking about they're waiting for a chariot to take them off to planet Xenon or whatever.
Right.
You know I mean, that's not what we're going to do. The Most High is going to be taking us. You know what I mean? One from a city, two from a field. We're going to be doing our work. We're going to be teaching the streets and doing what we do.
Right.
When the Most High sends those chariots.
Right.
We're not going to be all gathered together on a rooftop with picket signs talking about, come and get me. You know what I mean? That's not what we're going to be doing.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to throw that in. 'Cause
No, absolutely right.
I think we sitting over here, you know, as a cult, like waiting on these chariots and everything. No. We're working.
No, the Most High said, this is not your rest. We're going to be teaching the word of the Most High and preparing ourselves for that salvation.
Right.
Taking away the old man and putting on the new man and being renewed in the spirit of our mind, right? That's what we're going to be doing. Right. So once again, brothers and sisters, give me a little frontal real quick. No, you don't have to go to Egypt. You don't have to go to Israel. You don't have to get a boat and go back to the motherland. Why? Because the heathen possess thine inheritance. Mm-hmm. Our salvation is going to come through Christ. It ain't going to come through me. It ain't going to come through you. It ain't going to come through no man. It's going to come through our deliverer. So once again, these vehicles here are going to be your deliverance. They want to know how you're going to disappear. Right. Well, how you're going to disappear is the Most High is going to beam you up. Mm-hmm. And that's why they put out these movies, to make it a joke, to make it fun, to make it to downgrade the validity of the bloodshed that these angels are going to bring. I want you to read that on. Read it again. Zechariah 5 verse 1.
Zechariah chapter 5 verse 1.
Right.
Then I turned and lifted up my eyes.
Right.
And looked, and behold, a flying robe.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Right.
And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe.
Right.
The length thereof is 20 cubits.
Right.
And the breadth thereof, 10
Stop
cubits.
that video right there. And this is it's showing you that Zechariah, he's seen a big chariot.
God.
He's seen a big chariot. He didn't see one of the small ones.
Right.
He's seen a mothership, man. Go ahead, read.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Then said he unto me.
Right. Leave that video right there. Read.
This is the curse.
This is the what?
This is the curse.
This is the what?
This is the curse.
Why do they put this in the movies?
This is the curse.
When they see the chariots of the Most High, they know these chariots are coming back. They ain't coming back to anal probe you. They're doing that now to make fun and mock the so-called white man.
Right.
You know, understand? But you know what these chariots are for? They know it's gonna come in and do this. Yeah. It's gonna come in and destroy your White House and destroy your kingdom. Pause that. Go ahead, read.
This is the curse.
Right.
That goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
Right. Listen, the world is gonna be filled with chariots. And this is how the children of Israel, this is how you know, brothers and sisters, and leave that there, because this is a very good point, to bring out here. You got these brothers, man, this other camp, or guys that told these guys, brothers, you got to move to Israel.
Right.
Brothers and sisters, they can't get all of the children of Israel out of all these countries.
Right.
The pain and the suffering that the Lord is going to bring over the world, it's got to be done this way.
Right.
And the Most High is going to send 20,000s, 200,000s, thousands of chariots, 200 million, chariots.
Right. Now, I was just looking at the dimensions of what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Now, if you could read verse 2 one more time. Real fast.
Verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe.
So he saw a flying scroll, right? A flying roll.
Right.
It was how long?
The length thereof is 20 cubits.
20 cubits. That's what, 30 feet long.
Right.
All right. Now, we're talking about 30 feet long, but we're talking about from where he was seeing it.
Right.
So to him, it looked like a roll. It was that far away, but it was 30 feet long as a roll.
Right.
So to scale, we talk about, as you see it up close,
right.
You're looking at something like what we just saw in the video.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And this is what they fear.
Right.
But go ahead,
Read on.
And the breadth thereof, 10 cubits.
And it was about 15 feet long, 15 feet wide, 30 feet long.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So he's seeing that from where he's at on the ground.
And then why do you think they put these in the movies? Why do you think they fear? I want you to pause that on the military, and everybody knows where we got this from.
Right. We
got this from Independence Day, and it was so sweetly put together. We had to keep running this. But stop with the military. Stop. This is what's going to happen.
Right.
But guess what? You're not going to be able to touch them with your missiles, with your weapons, and with no bullet. Read on why it's right there,
Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse.
This is the curse, and that's why they try to discredit.
Right.
That's why they try to say these are demons or these are little green people. Go ahead.
That goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
Right.
For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it.
Right.
And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side, according to it.
Right. This is what the Most High is telling us why he's sending these angels back. Why he's sending these so-called UFOs. Go ahead. You can finish that up, that video. Go ahead.
Verse 4. I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief.
Right.
And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Right, and that's what they did. America the Great, they say in God we trust. They say they're with God, but yet through rape, bloodshed, lies, and falsehood, they've established this kingdom.
Right.
Go ahead.
And it shall remain in the midst of his house.
Right. So, and it goes on. And once again, we don't got time to go in depth into this, you brothers and sisters, to come to class, but we want to get more names.
Right.
More things they call the chariots to identify them.
Right.
We're finding out whirlwind, roll, chariot of fire, cloud. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, all I was thinking was Ezekiel, you know what I mean?
There you go.
The whirlwinds, you know, I'm thinking the clouds.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
Ezekiel 1 and 4, right?
Yeah, Ezekiel 1 verse 4.
Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north.
Right.
Right, so once again, it's being described as this whirlwind. This is the best description for the time.
Right.
There wasn't no, flying saucer, or, you know what I mean? This wasn't the description they were given. They were seeing a whirlwind.
Right.
Or a cloud sometimes.
Right, now hold it, pause that video, because we're not there yet, but pause that. Let's go through this. Go ahead.
A great cloud.
Right.
And a fire enfolding itself.
Now rewind the video. Now read it.
And the brightness was about it.
Right. Now, pause this. You got to ask yourself, where in the hell did these people get this description from?
Right. Well, now I was teaching that in class. We think Esau made this up.
Right.
This is why we think there's such a great society, because we think Gene Roddenberry and these guys have made Independence Day. We think they made this up. Michael Bay, that they dreamed this up out of nowhere. They've seen this before.
Right. And you know where they seen it?
Yeah.
In Ezekiel, the first chapter, in the 4th verse.
Right. Or when they were the Greek Empire and the chariots was coming and frying them up.
Oh, I got that.
Alexander the Great and his army, for instance, were harassed by a pair of flying objects in 329 BC. Most of the soldiers fled the sea, but some of the hardier men stood their ground and tried to hit the disc with their arrows and with stones from their slings.
Read it from the top.
Verse 4.
And pause this right here. Where did they get this from? How did they know to bring the chariot of the Most High out of the fire as enfolding out of the fire? And this is what Ezekiel seen. When he's seen, I want you to read it from the top while this is here.
Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 4.
Yeah.
And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind.
Right. He's giving you, once again, how many descriptions is he going to say? well, this is how you know what he was describing only from what he knew.
Right.
So he said there was a whirlwind. Go ahead.
Came out of the north.
Right, read.
A great cloud.
A great what?
A great cloud.
Right, a great cloud. Right? Why? Is it a whirlwind or is it a cloud? It's actually both. Because the power of how these vehicles turn, right? How they look is they're oval shaped. They're like clouds. Go ahead.
And a fire.
What?
And a fire.
So it's all that. And a what?
A fire.
How did they know this?
Right.
Not because they're the wisest civilization, excuse me. Not because they're the wisest people on the earth and we didn't know how to brush our teeth till the Greeks came here, but because they stole it. They stole all our information. And I'm sure they got other information hidden. You know what I mean? The true books hidden that gives you a lot of information of what we've seen, let alone the history. That our people seen these.
Yeah, out of all the abduction stories, you don't really hear that it came out of a cloud like that. It came with fiery cloud and all that.
Right.
That's a biblical description.
Right.
You know, when Billy Bob gets raped up in the sky and dropped back on Earth with his anus opened up, he doesn't describe the clouds and the fire. He just
Right.
describes, I got caught up in a beam,
Right.
and a UFO dropped me back down.
Right.
You know, he don't describe the pillowy clouds and the fire coming with that.
Right.
That's a biblical description.
Right, that's a biblical description.
Yeah.
And this is what Ezekiel's seen. But now, I would love to go deep into this chapter. We're not going to be able to go all the way in, but let's go a little more. Go ahead.
And a fire enfolding itself.
So we know what these angels travel in. And how do we know angels travel in them and not green people? It's going to go down. Go ahead.
And a brightness was about it.
Right.
And out of the midst thereof.
Wait, out of the midst of these chariots, right? The whirlwind, the fire, the cloud enfolding within itself. Go ahead.
As the color of amber.
Wait a minute. The angels have what?
As the color of amber.
Wait, last I looked, amber was brown.
Yeah. If you ever watch Jurassic Park, the mosquito that he finds, it's encased in amber. You know what I mean? And that's as brown as you and me.
Right.
You know what I mean? there ain't no escaping that. That little ball that he has with the mosquito in it.
Right.
That's encased. That's amber. All right, that's the color of it. So there's no mistaking that this was a dark-skinned being.
Right.
He was not a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan nation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Carryover. This was a dark-skinned being coming out that Ezekiel seen.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And this is the thing. And it goes down, brothers and sisters. We're not going to be able to go through the whole thing because we want to jump to all the other scriptures. But Ezekiel, this chapter, goes specifically into the angelic beings next to the UFOs. Read down a little bit more. Let's get a little more of that.
Out of the midst of the fire.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
Right, and these are what these chariots for. These 4 living creatures were speaking of the angels.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there. There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
to say 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
to say 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Their appearance.
Right.
They had the likeness of a man.
They what?
They had the likeness of a man.
These are men. But these men, as we read down, we found out they can transform into anything. and they have different characteristics. See, so like I said, I would love to go through the whole chapter. You brothers and sisters want that, you need to come to class, but because we only have an hour here. But this is why a lot of disinformation is coming out, because, you know, they rather have you, pause this one right here. They rather have you believing that what Ezekiel seen was this.
Right.
This is not what he's seen.
The great Buddha floating out of the sky.
Now I want you to jump down to verse 15. Okay? Ezekiel 1 verse 15. I said I wasn't going to do it, but we're going to do it a little bit. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Right.
Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creature.
Right. Now, why does it say wheel? As it's landing, it looks like a wheel.
Right. Another thing we got to understand is they didn't have words like, they weren't dealing with words like ray beam, light beam.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was coming out of the midst of this thing. So they saw it as a fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? When this thing was beaming people up, and when this thing was transporting people to, you know, to wherever their destination was going to be, that beam that shot out the bottom could best be described as a fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? The one that we were describing, that he describes in Ezekiel 1 and 5, where it destroys the building with the stones and the timber.
Right.
That's all you can say is that's a fire.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
what fire is going to destroy stone?
Yeah.
That's a beam. that's a ray beam coming out the damn chariot.
Exactly.
But that's all they knew. So that's
I'm going to describe it to my best ability.
There you go.
Right. Right. Read verse 15. Let's read down really quick.
Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creature.
Right. Now he's seeing the angels, and he's seeing them next to the chariots.
Right.
Go ahead.
With his 4 faces.
Right. Go ahead.
16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl.
Right. So they seen green. They seen, pause that. Beryl is the color of green. So when they seen the UFO, they seen a green chariot. Okay? And why did they call it wheel? I want you to leave that there for a second, because I want this visually to hit these brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
And they 4 had one likeness.
Right.
And their appearance and their work was as it were.
Right.
A wheel in the middle of a wheel.
A wheel in the middle of a wheel. Not the other one where it's like an actual
a windmill.
Windmill. This is what Ezekiel's seen.
Right.
Now, how do we know that? Because as you read this whole chapter, he's telling you it's a whirlwind, a scroll, a cloud. Then he comes back and says, wait a minute, this looks like a wheel inside of a wheel from the bottom of the ground.
Right.
Okay?
And just like we have cars, chariots on Earth, we have different makes and models.
Right.
So you're going to see one look like fire, one look like blue, one look like beryl.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Verse 17, read on.
When they went upon their 4 sides.
Right.
And they returned not when they went.
You know what the Most High is showing us? That when these chariots fly, they move and they don't turn.
Right.
They're not controlled by a steering wheel.
Right.
And this is why I want you to play the video of where it says sightings. Because when you look at these UFOs, they don't turn. These UFOs, once again, defy physics.
Right.
They defy physics, and there's nothing that can touch them. You know, there's no missile that can hit them. There's no bomb that can take them down. There's no way they can crash. And this is what the Most High is showing us.
Wow.
Okay, read on.
Verse 18. As for their rings, they were so high.
As for their what?
As for their rings.
Now he's saying their what?
Their rings.
Why? Because it's circular from the bottom of the ground looking up. It looks like a tornado. It looks like a cloud. It looks like a wheel inside of a wheel as it spins. Right? And then it looks like rings because they're circular. Right? Go ahead.
They were so high.
They were what?
They were so high.
Right?
That they were dreadful.
And this is when Zechariah, the 5th chapter, says this is what's going to come in their windows. This is the dread that this nation, the so-called white man, fears. You see these UFOs, they don't look like fun. You understand? They look dreadful. And that's where they come with all these movies, and they fear them, and they dread them, right? They're going to be tormented by them. Why? Because they know what's coming for them.
Okay.
And I don't want to keep going in this. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, because the whole point of this class is, once again, to edify brothers and sisters and to wake you brothers and sisters up for you to understand. These are not aliens. This is actually your salvation. These chariots that you see are going to be the chariots that deliver you from the destruction of America.
Right. Do not try to fight them.
Yeah, do not try to get a gun and shoot them, because they will kill you. You know what I mean? I was watching one thing where Esau tried to do that. And it said that basically they drove him out of his mind. For like 20 minutes, he was out of his mind, starting to try to kill people around him. You know, I was looking at one documentary, and you can see that.
Right.
And you see the different accounts when these angels do show themselves. Now, how they show themselves and when they show themselves, you know, that's up to them. But for some reason, it always have to do with a so-called white man being tortured. You know, so we got to ask ourselves why.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to them? I never hear a black man, a Mexican man, an Israelite brother. They never hear I got tortured by a alien.
Right.
Right?
Nah, I heard it.
So this is what the Most High tells us in Wisdom of Solomon 5. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 1.
Go ahead.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. And made no account of his labors.
And this is what we're going to do when we see those chariots. You understand? We're going to, yes, every knee shall bow. And after we're bowing and crying and begging, you understand, and the Most High delivers us, we're going to stand in great boldness. Go ahead.
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Right, because when all the nations see how you children of Israel are going to be delivered with 200,000 angels and chariots, they're not gonna comprehend what's going on. Why? Because
those elite, they are gonna comprehend, and they're gonna know. Oh, damn! It's time that we couldn't stop it.
They know.
Yeah.
And they know that it's not gonna be an alien invasion.
Right.
Go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
And why is it strange? Because they told you that these green people were coming down. When you see these.
And there's your wheels within the wheels.
There's your wheels within the wheels.
Right.
See, he said the strangeness of their salvation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So far beyond all that they look for.
And it's going to be more incredible than they've been portraying it. You know what I mean? Their movies and things like that. You know, the things we've been getting exposed to. But, you know, when you look at Star Trek, you're looking at more accurate depictions of these things.
Right.
You know, you got they give you the cube. You know, the cube of the Borg or whatever they called them, right? There's all these entities that were able to be in one mind. They had this big giant cube that was floating through space, and it was basically a city. And that's what you get exposed to, you know, when you go into Revelations and stuff like that.
Right.
As you see that this city that's coming, it's not an enemy. It's not the Borg.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are our people. They unified, one mind, one body, dwelling in this city that's of a cubical shape.
Right.
As described in the book of Revelations.
Right.
So all these little these things that they've exposed us to, that ain't the half.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got close with Star Trek. They got close with Battlestar Galactica and all these different things, but that's not the half of what the Most High is going to be revealing to them, and the glory that He's going to bring down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like when they see it, it's not going to be one or two chariots that they can maybe fly up in the middle of and blow it up. You know what I mean? Or they can go up and give it a virus. These things are going to be in formation, like the eagles.
Yeah.
Right. Like we read through the scriptures, they're going to be in formation, a tight formation you can't break up. And they're going to be moving so fast and so unified that it's going to confound everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be beyond their little maneuvers they've been doing in Washington and all their little maneuvers they do on these Air Force bases and everything.
Right.
Where you at?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 3.
Right, go ahead.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision.
Right, see, this was that Christ we used to talk about. This was those UFOs we used to think we were gonna shoot down.
Right, and it's also talking about the children of Israel.
Right, that's what
These
I'm
are the
saying.
niggas.
Right.
The wetbags, the porch monkeys, the spakes, the spooks, the spades, the nobodies, the ignorant, the ones that pad their pants sagging down and smoking blunts. You niggas can't be beamed up! You can't be beamed up!
Right.
Billy, get my shotgun. I'm killing them all.
Right.
That's really what's going to happen, is because there's going to be anguish when they realize they're not getting beamed up.
Yeah.
When they're not getting tooken, man.
Yeah.
And because
they know what's coming after that.
we know everybody in America that don't get lifted up on those ships. We already know what happens.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Revelations 18th chapter. It said it's going to be a continual fire of burning.
Right.
Right? We know what's going to happen with that. But all the other brothers and sisters throughout the world that didn't get lifted up in these chariots, okay, they're going to be brought on ships.
Right.
When you go back to Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah the 60th chapter. You know what I mean? But this is, once again, brothers and sisters, we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear, man. This is your salvation. Stop looking at them. When you look at them, they're, you get fearful. All the movies are coming in your head, and you don't know what's going to happen when the aliens come back. It's our salvation. Where you at, bro?
Isaiah 60 verse 8. And this is, just again, that formation. When you watch birds flying, they flying in that V pattern.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're flying in a formation. You know what I mean? They're unified. They don't break their ranks or nothing like that.
Right.
And this is what you're seeing in the scriptures, defining these UFOs, defining these chariots of the Most High and the angels.
Absolutely.
All right, so read that.
Isaiah 60, chapter verse 8. Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Right, so you wondering, what are these that flying like a cloud? What are these that's coming like this? Those are the chariots of the Most High. That's right on point. These are the chariots of the Most High you're seeing. These are not clouds. Be afraid. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that are chosen, those of y'all teaching this work, don't be afraid. These are coming to get you, but for those that aren't, for those that are mocking and scoffing, these are coming to destroy you. These are coming to take his righteousness.
They're coming in your windows.
Yeah. Oh, read.
And as the doves to their windows.
Right, as the doves to their windows. That's how they come in. They coming in a formation like doves, like birds fly. They gonna come in unified, and you're not gonna be able to break this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not gonna be able to send an F-16 and an F-14 or anything else, stealth bomber, none of that to destroy this.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Yeah. Go do me a favor, real quick with that. We're pressed for time. Go to Joel. I want you to go Joel 2 verse 1, and just write on what you're saying. It says these are the clouds, right? These are the clouds that are coming back. These are the ones that when they look at the deliverance of the children, they're going to say, this is a strange salvation. Right? Read Joel 2 verse 1.
Joel chapter 2 verse 1.
Read.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion.
Right.
And sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Right.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Yeah, and the Most High's day, the day where 200 million chariots fill the sky, it's coming.
Right.
Our salvation is nearer than you believe. Go ahead.
A day of darkness.
A day of what?
A day of darkness.
Why? Because there's going to be 200 million chariots covering the sky. Read.
And of gloominess.
Read.
A day of clouds and of thick darkness.
Right, because the fierce wrath and the dread is going to fill the earth. Read.
As the morning spread upon the mountain.
Read.
A great people and a strong.
Right. Now we're jumping back to Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, because these great people, we're going to find out are angels. Go ahead, read.
There have not been ever like, neither shall be any more after it.
Right, because these really ain't people, we're going to find out. Read.
Even to the years of many generations.
Read.
Verse 3, a fire devoured before them.
Read.
And behind them a flame burning.
Right, and this is what the Most High is showing us. When these chariots come, they're going to leave that fire behind them, right? And before them is going to be, before them is going to be nice.
Right.
But every time they rise up over this land, rise over the land before them is going to be destruction. Read.
The land is as the Garden of Eden before them.
Right, read.
And behind them, a desolate wilderness.
Read.
Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
Read. And nothing's going to escape. How do we know this is talking about the angels? Read on.
Verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses.
Right.
and as horsemen, so shall they run.
Right, and this is once again talking about the angels. When you read in Ezekiel 1, it's telling you these angels are coming with their chariots. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap.
Read.
Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array.
And that's what they're coming back for. They're coming back for war. Read.
Verse 6. Before their face the people shall be much pain.
Right, because when we see this, when the world sees this, we're going to bow down and say, we shall be weak as women.
Right.
Right. Our heart, it says, your hearts shall melt within you. Read.
All faces shall gather blackness.
Read.
They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war.
And this is how we know this is not men. Because they're going to climb the walls. They're going to go through the windows. Go ahead.
And they shall march every one on his ways.
Right.
And they shall not break their ranks.
Right. And this is how you know it ain't us. Because we can't get it together.
Right. We can't do nothing in unity.
We can't do nothing in unity. Read.
Verse 8. Neither shall one thrust another.
Right.
They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Right. And like Priest Yeshaya says, he says, what Negro you know that can stop a bullet?
Right.
You can't.
You can't even get niggas at a picnic not to thrust one another.
Exactly.
Not to shoot one another.
So this is how we know that Joel is talking about the angels coming back. Read.
Joel chapter 2 verse 9.
Read.
They shall run to and fro in the city.
Right.
They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
Right, and we went over what thief. Zechariah, the 5th chapter, tells us. The thief, this thief that stole the world. Read.
Verse 10. The earth shall quake before them.
Read.
The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Right, because the Lord is going to cover the world. Go to Revelation. Hold where you're at. Keep reading on. You go to Revelation 19.
Verse 11.
Read.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Before his what?
Before his army.
Before his what?
Before his army.
Now go to Revelations. I want you to read Revelations 19 and verse 11 really quick.
Revelations 19.
And you're going to read verse 11. Yeah, you can put it on the last image, the one you just had before that.
Revelation 19, verse 11.
Read. Yeah, leave it right there.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Now jump down to the 14th verse.
Verse 14.
Read.
And the armies which were in heaven.
The what?
The armies which were in heaven.
Now go back and read it, Joel. What did it say?
Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Who is coming back to destroy this kingdom?
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
We are not going to do it, so-called Negro, so-called Mexican, Israelite brothers. We are not going to do it. Christ and the angels are going to deliver us. Read on, Tahawam.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in white linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations.
Yeah, and when you read this chapter, he's not coming back with these angels. He's not coming back with them just to come and play and hand out flowers and join hand in hand.
Right.
It's going to be bloodshed.
Right.
Millions of people are going to die. Right? So how many minutes we got left?
What we got? About 2 minutes.
2 minutes left? Okay. So, brothers and sisters, do we got time for one more? If we can go to Psalms, let's go hit that Psalms really quick.
It's 1 minute now.
Oh, it's 1 minute? Well, we can't. Brothers and sisters, we're going to thank y'all for tuning in to this show. We'll try to give y'all, for the YouTube audience, we'll try to throw a little more information on there for y'all. But as for our live show, brothers and sisters, we're here every Saturday. Every Saturday at 8 o'clock. We'd like to thank y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.